From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2022. Live from the shores of Santa Monica, California, with big financial news for you in today's recording. As not just one, not just two, but three stimulus checks have now landed. I'm going to go over how to get that A check, $6,500 check, that B check, $15,000 to $80,000, and that C check, MSC, 12 months of $24,000 across the board. Huge checks in today's recording. We'll go over the latest details of what's happening with Build Back Better, a new round to get it done. Then what's happening with that SS300, what's happening with 7 stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness. Then we'll be turning to the developing details of that 6 stimulus that involves the trifecta of Germany, France, and the United States. And then in the second half of this video, you know how we rock and roll. The first half of Home LA is your money, your big checks. We'll go over how to get them. Then the second half of this video, it's time for almost Easter. And we'll be looking at the fruits and vegetables of Easter. They're the Brussels sprouts. We're going to go over Brussels sprouts recipes and the mango in today's recording. A big, delicious recording. But big checks, and the second half of this video, I'll be answering your questions live on air. And I'll be answering more questions about those member benefits. Huge details across the board. From the shores of Santa Monica, California to the shores of the Black Sea, we have big checks landing. I'm going to go over each of those checks and then the checks that have come in thereafter. Huge day, huge money. All the incredible signing details start right now. And good afternoon, everybody. It's a big day here on Home LA with incredible details about 4 stimulus checks that have now landed. I'm going to go over those big checks. A $6,500 check is now landed. A $15,000 to $80,000 check is now landed. And MSC checks of about $24,000, but as high as $150,000 have landed as well. We're going to go over each of these checks, how to get them in the first half of this video. Then the second half of this video, turning to the deliciousness of Easter. But first, let's go to the developing details of the Build Back Better Act. 3 clusters of checks and 3 add-ons. What's important to understand is that those checks are still going to happen. Let's go over each of them right now broadly, and we're going to go over them more in detail tonight on prime time in Evenings LALATE. Hazard pay got in that first 3 clusters for the Build Back Better bill. $4,000 elder care got in there. $4,000 for young children's checks. $3,600 checks as well for the CTC. And then they got in the Pell Grant $550 check and the checks for home repairs, plus $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. We're going to go over the routing times of all these incredible checks in the 4th stimulus and 3rd stimulus and 5th and more coming up in this video as well. Those big delivery dates include the $25,000 from Maxine Waters for the delivery of your first home. This is money given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow. In that second cluster of checks of the Build Back Better bill currently in the Senate, they have home repairs and paid leave. Paid leave is a lot of money, but hold up. Paid leave, home repairs? Yeah. Those home repairs have been taken out. Been taken out. Where are they? They're law. They are law. Joe Biden took out the home repairs checks from the Build Back Better bill, not law, and made them law. And that is your check A $6,500 check. It's coming up in just a second. Let's go back to Build Back Better Act and look at the other checks that are in that second cluster. Paid leave, that's a lot of money. How to get it tonight? It's featured in Evenings LA at 5 o'clock. I'll go over that check in detail. Then in the second add-on, it checks $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Let's turn to the third cluster of the Build Back Better bills checks. The third cluster has checks for seniors, checks for free internet, farmers' checks, independent contractors' checks, and more. Seniors gain a lot of checks in Build Back Better. Dental, vision, hearing checks, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare from 65 to 55. The Medicaid gap fix, and other checks across the board, which is part of the course when we're talking about adding checks to the Build Back Better Act, the other checks that they represent they would add in there. Our MSC, monthly IRS stimulus check. These are IRS monthly stimulus checks for Build Back Better bill. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. How do you get those checks? They're coming up tonight in Evenings LALATE in prime time. But here's what you need to know, is that those checks are for 6 months. And now viewers of this channel are getting MSC checks from third stimulus that are averaging 12 months. Oh boy. So let's go right into those checks that viewers are getting right now and how you can get them as well. Get your pen and paper ready. Here comes the details. Start taking notes. There are 3 checks that are now landed. So what are the delivery dates on them? Now. When's the delivery date? Yesterday. 5 minutes ago. Let's go over the details of these 3 checks. A, B, and C. What's important to understand is that if you're a viewer of this channel, whether you're a renter or a homeowner, you qualify for at least 1 to 3 of these checks. Check number one, $6,500 checks have now landed. These became law on March 31st. So let's go over these checks and everything you need to know. First, a $6,500 check has now landed. That is the delivery date right now for today's recording. In some states, they're paying more than $6,500. They're paying $12,000. This is a fourth stimulus check that became a law when the President of the United States did it by the executive branch, took it out of the Build Back Better bill. And boy, how do you get it? The eligibility is the same as a third stimulus check. Easy. $75,000 less, single individual, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. And if you're on benefits, like a Social Security or a veteran's benefits, you can get it as well. The last eligibility criterion is you own your own home. What is this first check, number A? This is the homeowners weatherizing your home grant check. Wow. So how do you get this check? You become a member. The link is at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. You get that membership newsletter and open it up. And when you do, you will see the first item of checks are the homeowners weatherizing grant check. You click the link and it'll send you into a national website run by the federal government. Then you choose your state, like Alabama. You choose that state, and then under Alabama, you choose the home weatherizing grant check. In this case, it will say something like Alabama Home Weatherizing Grant. Mississippi, it'll say Mississippi Weatherizing Grant. Very simple. Do not worry about the word home. Do not worry about the word weatherizing. First, home. It can be defined differently in different states. Some states may say mobile homes, yes. Other states may say something differently. Don't worry about the word weatherizing. Just apply. All this will be explained in the application process. For example, some states have tornado coverage and other states don't because they don't have tornadoes. That is the first of 3 checks. Now let's go to the second check. The second check is B, $15,000 to $80,000. It became law March 4th. And again, how do you get this? Become a member. It's in the membership newsletter. Let's go over check B. It looks like A, but it's different. First, it's more money. It's $15,000 to $80,000 checks, with many viewers of this channel getting somewhere between $66,000 to $80,000. Delivery times now. Viewers got these checks back in March. It's been live for 5 weeks. So it's been live. The delivery date has started in March 2022. This is a fourth stimulus check. Joe Biden made it a law by taking it out of the fourth stimulus Build Back Better Act. What is this check called? It's called the homeowners grant check. This is not weatherizing. This is just the homeowners grant check. But in the membership newsletter, it's right under under A. This is B. You'll recognize it by the payout, $15,000 to $80,000. In the membership newsletter, we go over what it pays for. And it pays for a lot more than just weatherizing, like home repairs. Wow. Then it goes over more about the eligibility, but it's the same generally as the A check. Single individual, $75,000 less, you can get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you can get it. And if you're on benefits, oh boy, you can get it. Social Security, veterans, yes. Again, you have to own your own home. So how do you apply for this one? Open that membership newsletter, click the link, and this link looks different because it's a different website. This one will send you to the national website. Then you'll see a map. If you're in Tennessee, you'll click the state of Tennessee, and then it'll send you to the Tennessee website. You apply. Remember, you need to apply right now because every day that passes, thousands of people in your state get ahead of you. You want to become a member right today because every day that waits, thousands of people in your state are getting ahead of you. That is A and B. Now, I told you that everyone in this video is going to get a check that pounces as a Purple Hawk. And I'm right, because guess what? C is the third check. C is for renters, C is for homeowners. If you're a homeowner, you get A, B, and C. And if you're a renter, you can get C. What is C? Let's go over C right now. C is a little bit different, but it pays a lot more. Viewers of the channel the last 2 weeks have gotten from C a monthly stimulus check of $2,000 a month for 12 months. That's $24,000. But last year they averaged about $45,000 from this C check. Many viewers getting over $100,000. Some viewers getting far in excess of $150,000. So let's go over the eligibility for this check. You can be a renter, you can be a homeowner. The income qualifications are the same. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you can get it. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you can get it. Have your benefits, you can get it. Next, how do you get it? You get this a different way than A and B. A and B involves going to a website and filling out a website's questions. This, C, involves your telephone, your voice, and your fingers dialing numbers. That's why this is easier for a lot of people who don't like the computer. But it's harder for people who don't like the telephone. So you either like to talk or you like to type. Which one do you like? Well, I got checks for both of them. So there you go. How do you get these big checks? Where do you reach out to? What do you say? Who do you call? Let's go over all those details right now. You're going to reach out to 6 places. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority, and also your state hall and your state housing authority. Now, if you're a member, you're going to get 5 other places to reach out to. They're in the membership newsletter. This is 6 for non-members, and for the members, you got 5 more. What are you going to say? You are going to say rent assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID. Let's stomp it right there. Remember, you got to say the right words. Don't call up and say, I want that MSC check. No, you take rent assistance because of COVID, utility assistance because of COVID, and mortgage assistance because of COVID. 3 things you must do. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must put multiple applications on file, and you must get the money as far as possible. Then open that membership newsletter, because in that membership newsletter, we feature also those nonprofits. Those nonprofits pick up a lot of other sums of money besides those 6 places. Lean on those nonprofits because there's about 5 of them. And there, between the nonprofits and the federal government, there's money in every state. I've been doing this since 2020. It absolutely is there. Get these big sums of money. They're averaging about $45,000 across the board. Get these big sums of checks right now. Do not wait. I want you to get those big sums. Move right today. It's first come, first serve. That is A, B, and C checks. Let's recap. A checks are $6,500 for the home weatherizing grant check. Get them. They went law 331. Second, B checks, $15,000 to $80,000 homeowners grant check. They became law March 4th. They will run out of money. And C, the MSC check from third stimulus. They have been law since 2021. How do you get these details? Become a member. The link is at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Become a member today. Then, when you become a member, you become a Purple Power, Calcino VIP, or Purple Hawk. Then look for that newsletter for members, delivered Monday through Friday. It's delivered at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, via the YouTube alert system, not via waivable check or email or waivable lobster. Look for that incredible newsletter, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alerts. And thank you for all the new members who became members while watching this video. Here are the other routing times you need to know on all these big checks. So far, those 3 checks we've gone over, those 3 checks have landed. Now, if you haven't got to them and you're watching this video and you're applying to get them, then what are the routing times? At the time of today's video, now in April 2022, the routing times are about a week out. So if you got it in today and it said approved, you get funded about a week. As time goes on and more people apply and they're in front of you, the routing times will slow down. There you are. Then, Build Back Better bill. What is the timeline on the Build Back Better bill? I think, and you'll see more about this tonight on Eaning's LALATE in prime time at 5 o'clock, that I think Build Back Better will go to a vote in the next 30 days. I really do. Number 2, this stimulus for seniors, that SSI reform, standing by itself. When is that going to become a law? Don't really know. We don't even have a bill for it. But the thing that would happen next on that SS 300 is Joe making that swap from COLA to inflation right now before Jay Powell comes in too aggressively on that inflation. I believe that Jay Powell will be coming in too aggressively. I believe that Jay Powell will have 2 interest rate spikes of a half basis points in the next 2 FOMC meetings. I think it's a mistake, but he's going to do it. And I think that's going to bring down inflation quickly. Inflation's tracking 8% right now. So if Joe Biden made that swap from colon inflation right now, your benefits will go up $200 a month, not just this month, not just this year, this lifetime. And how quickly would that happen? It would happen within 30 days after Joe Biden makes the phone call. So Joe make the call right today. And benefits would go up 30 days thereafter. That's the delivery date on that one. How about 7 stimulus? That's student loan debt forgiveness. When is the delivery date on that one? That is May 2nd, approximately. Joe Biden has set that date. 3 things for student loan debt for the president to do. 3 options. Number 1, do nothing. Your debts have not been payable. You haven't had to pay them during COVID. Well, the moratorium of the freezing on that ends May 2nd. First option is to do nothing and have everyone start paying up. I don't think the president's going to do that. So that one's out. Second one is the option of the president say, I'm going to extend the moratorium a little bit while I think about what to do. I think that's possible. Number 3 is that the president says, you don't have to pay anything back. I've forgiven it. Wow. I think this is going to happen as well. 2 or 3. Both of those, you're going to see the latest, you're going to see the determination by the President of the United States by May 2nd. We have that confirmation from his chief of staff, Ron Klain. It says the determination by the president will be by May 2nd. Huge. What about 6 stimulus? 6 stimulus is very, very confusing. You can see this across the board today on this channel with a brand new afternoon show at 3 and a brand new evenings at 5. 6 stimulus is supposed to happen in April, but it may happen in the United States in April and not overseas in April. Why? Because we've seen this pivot by Germany where they said, no, we love that Russian product. We're going to continue to buy it after they said after week 1 of the invasion of Ukraine, we're not buying the Russian product. What is 6 stimulus? 6 stimulus is the biggest stimulus package you've seen in a generation. It involves raising national debts and giving stimulus to citizens because there is a recession looming and no one can afford the price of gasoline currently. No one can afford the price of bread currently. And if it continues through the month of May, we go into recession if we aren't already there. Find out later in this video if we are. And Joe Biden really needs to get that 6 stimulus done because guess what? It'll be absolute calamity. But here's what I want to tell you right now. I'll have more about tonight on 80s LA. Analysts and myself are now in agreement, or some analysts and myself are now in agreement that if Jay Powell has 2 interest rate spikes of a half basis point at the next 2 FOMC meetings, we're going into recession. It's too aggressive. The economy's not growing and the economy's missing. Every day that I say that on this channel, another person comes out and says the same thing. Kathy Wood from ARC today didn't use the word R, recession, but she said if Jay Powell does a very strong hit on inflation and we don't have the economic growth, the economy is going to go into a tailspin. I think it's already doing that. I already think that 2 industries are already in recession right today. They are the housing industry and the auto industry. I already think in recession. And if Jay Powell comes in aggressively, I think we're going into recession. Moreover, if Joe Biden doesn't do 6 stimulus, doesn't solve oil, wheat, or grain, or the banking industry, we go into recession. And if we do fix it, and our partner allies don't fix their economies, they go into recession, draw us into recession. Boy, that's a lot to digest. And what makes it easier to digest? Some Brussels sprouts. In the second half of this video, we got Brussels sprouts and we got, let's see if I can lift it with one hand. I cannot. Mangoes. Not together, but in the same video. We're going to go over the fruits and vegetables of Easter and how to prepare them and how they're so delicious. Moreover, for the first time ever, I don't think I've ever done this, I'm going to go over foods and economy. You may think Brussels sprouts are very expensive where you shop. I'm going to tell you they aren't expensive. It depends on the grower and the market. I'm going to go over the economies of scales and determining inflation, how to pivot as a person. So we're not only going to go over recipes for Brussels sprouts, I'm also going to show you how to buy things cheaper. Did you know that there's a way to buy these things cheaper? There is. I'm going to go over that coming up the second half of this video. Plus, I'll be answering your questions in the live interaction in the second half. Then I have a little bit of commentary about all the successes the viewers have had with these 3 checks, A, B, and C. We are coming back into the big second half. We got a lot of money. We're just getting started. It's a big day. It's home LA. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the members community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues in a big second half with some Brussels sprouts and some mangoes. I think I said Brussels sprouts and Sandy ran for the hills. Lost one viewer there. No, I'm just kidding. Some people love vegetables. Some people just don't like vegetables. But we got it all. We got vegetables. We got stimulus. We got fruits as well. And they're all coming up in the second half of this video. If you're new to this channel, that's what we do here. We go over the big sums of money that are available. Here's what you need to know, is that there are 3 checks now available. And they have landed, and you don't want to wait around for another check. Why? Because I give you the trajectory of where we are. My trajectory is we are already in recession with 2 industries in the United States, auto and homes, and that we're heading into a full recession in the next few months. So you don't want to wait around for other checks. You want to get these 3 checks. You want to become a member. Let's go over that membership right now, which is very important. Become a member. The link's at the top of the channel in the pinned comment. Then make sure you also have all your alerts set to all on. Go to the front channel. You'll see a little bit bell. Make sure you click that bell, subscribe, and then make sure it's set to all alerts. All alerts, so then that you make sure you get those YouTube alerts. Then watch for the YouTube alert Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, which features the membership newsletter. Line 1 of the membership newsletter is the oil prices today, then the wheat and grain and corn prices, and then right after that is the weatherizing $6,500 grant check information and application. Right after that is the homeowner's grant check, and then right after that is the third stimulus MSC checks. That's the benefits of membership. Now, more about that in a second and my opinion of some other situations and commentary, but let's turn to the fun of Easter. Mangoes and Brussels sprouts. First, let's go over the recipes and then we'll go over the economics of it. Here's a wonderful plate of some delicious Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are one of the most savory, delicious vegetables there are. And many people sort of don't know what to do with them, and they look at them and say, is it a cabbage? No, it's a Brussels sprout. And trust me, it is absolutely delicious. It actually has a slightly sweet flavor if you cook it the right way. So how's the quick way to cook a Brussels sprout? And what's the way I prefer to do it? The way I prefer to do it is to half it or quarter it with a sharp knife. Then prepare a flat pan, put some olive oil in the flat pan, and then put it into the roaster. It can be your microwave toaster oven as well. And then roast it so it gets golden, crispy on the edges. Now, what other vegetable has that wonderful crispy flavor and sensation to it other than very few? A lot of vegetables you can't roast, they lose the flavor. In the case of Brussels sprout, when you cook it, it enhances the flavor. It's very crispy and it's a lot of fun. Take it out of the oven, let it cool. Then what I do is I douse it. There's a lot of ways to douse it, but I prefer to douse it with some balsamic vinegar and some Parmesan cheese. Now let's go over how that flavor kicks in. It's a very big contrast. You may think the Brussels sprout is a vegetable-tasting vegetable. It's really not. It has almost the texture of a fried onion when you take it out of the toaster oven. It has a lot of great tang to it on the slight sweet side. Then you add a balsamic vinegar, which is slightly sweet on the savory, and you add some Parmesan cheese, which has sort of a very different type of sensory reaction. On top, you got something totally delicious. Now, If you want to sweeten it up more, douse in a couple of golden raisins. Yeah, that's the way you can sweeten it up more. I got to tell you, until you have the Brussels sprout cooked the right way, you've not had paradise. It really is delicious. If you like fried onions, if you like playing around with anything sort of fried, like a fried potato or fried potato skin, try this with the Brussels sprout. Remember, stay away from big hunks. If there's too big a hunk, you're going to see more of sort of a cabbage look to it. If you get it to a smaller cut, like a quarter or a half, if it's a smaller Brussels sprout, you're going to get that incredible sensation. So try it today. Now, the mango is another great fruit or vegetable of the Easter season, and that mango has already spurred so many discussions in the live chat right now. That mango is a lot of different options across the board. People in the live chat right now have already talked about mango smoothies. Absolutely wonderful. I like a mango just by itself. How do you douse it up? Do you douse it up? A lot of people like some fresh lemon juice on top of the mango. So if you have extra lemon or lime, just sprinkle a little bit of lime on top of it and get ready to eat. Do you eat with the skin? I do eat with the skin. It's absolutely wonderful. It's very, very healthy for you. How to choose the mango? How to choose a Brussels sprout? Well, here's a couple things you need to know. The mango goes by the hardness, so it's sort of like buying a tomato. If you pick up a tomato and it's all mushy on the side, on the outside, you don't buy it. It's too mushy. And so you want a nice firmness. You don't want it bruised or soft. And so when choosing the mango, look how hard this is. It literally looks like someone's head. It's very, very firm and hard. A well-picked mango. I picked it. A well-picked mango. And it does not necessarily have to be red. It does not have to necessarily be red. Here it's red and green. How decorative is that? It looks like a lobster or a lobster head. And ultimately, you'll see where the mango's from. This one's from Mexico. It is ready to eat if it feels firm and it just has a beautiful coloring to it. I like to buy mangoes ready as they are. So if it's firm and colored, it's ready to eat. I don't want it bruised or soft. I'm not even buying it. That means it's been destroyed during the process or is overripe. Pass on that. So what are some of your mango recipes? Jump in the live chat and tell me what you like. A lot of people, I think, have mentioned before that they like to add mangoes to their salad, or they like to have a fruit salad, or add it to their vegetable salad. Really quite great across the board. How do you choose your Brussels sprouts? Make sure the Brussels sprout is all green. Don't have any brownness on the Brussels sprouts. If you go to the market and there's a lot of brown on the outside of the Brussels sprout, don't buy it. So this Brussels sprout is all green. Look how beautiful that is. Also, I prefer a larger Brussels sprout because I can get a good cut on it. Next, if they've been refrigerated in the market, meaning they're in a container that has a lot of water and it's cold, I love it. It means it's ready to buy. If it's not been prepared in the market accordingly, then I'm passing on it. All right, how to buy things in an environment in which there's an inflationary situation. Here's what you need to know, is that when you're looking for supermarket groceries, it's different than if you're looking for gasoline. Gasoline, if you shop at a different gas station, you may get down the price of gasoline maybe 10 cents per gallon. But in the case of groceries, it's a huge dramatic discourse across the board. Let me use Brussels sprouts as an example. I'm going to go over price point. If you go to your major unionized, no offense against unions, major unionized U.S. market, Fortune 500, and bought some Brussels sprouts today, they may be $5 a pound. Yeah, $5 a pound. Then, if you go to your local market, non-unionized, it may be down to about $3 or $3.50 a pound. So let me give you a price point. I recently bought Brussels sprouts at a local supermarket here in Southern California that has a few locations, so it is a chain, but it's an ethnic market and it's non-unionized. I saw the price point at I think it was $3.20 a pound for Brussels sprouts. Now Brussels sprouts are very light, so that makes it cheap, but $3.20 a pound. These I got at another market at the same time. Ethnic chain, has many locations, non-unionized. How much was this price point for these Brussels sprouts? $1.99 a pound. Yeah, you can go anywhere from a $5.99 to a $1.99 on the same product just by going across the street. That's a current situation for the economy. And as inflation continues to track high, as a recession is right behind us, I want to make sure that you are buying things at the best price point. Mangoes are one of those fruits that, ironically, especially in Southern California, you can buy by the side of the road and get really good deals. Now, if you're buying mangoes by the side of the road, you have to do the same thing. So the person comes up to the window of the car, you got to look and make sure they're not bruised. If you can't tell if it's bruised or not, you got to pass it up. Let's jump in the live chat and see some of your mango recipes, some of your commentaries about Brussels sprouts. And then if you have questions about any of your stimulus packages, jump in there as well across the board. We have two members as well who have joined in this live chat. Someone says it does look like a cabbage. It does look like a cabbage. There is Virgil Barrett. Oh, Virgil became a member. So congratulations to Virgil, who became a member. The Brussels sprout is an incredible product. It really, really is. Here is Virgil. My life loves Brussels sprouts with butter, garlic, and lemon. That's interesting. So it sounds like in that case, Virgil's wife is doing a sauteing of the Brussels sprouts. Very interesting. I prefer a roasting of the Brussels sprouts, but very, very interesting. Anne says, I like to buy vegetables in the little mercados. Absolutely. So she's referring to those ethnic markets. Very, very, very easy. Bob Bacon says, purchasing is easy. Look at the Brussels sprouts. Move on to mangoes. Google Mickey D's and move along. Gail, Big Macs have secret sauce. Yeah, is there mango in there? There's a lot of people talking about Big Macs in the live chat. Yeah, that's the people who didn't want vegetables. Bob Bacon says, give me a Big Mac and I will watch you eat your Brussels sprout. And John Thompson says, the Brussels sprouts are sprouting. There we go. I think Sandy is now in the bathroom turning off the audio when we talk about Brussels sprouts. For Sandy, if it's meat, potatoes, and dessert, we're good. But if I go anywhere near vegetables, she's running for the door. So there we go. Let's turn to the benefit of membership and the importance about being members. You know, it's very important in the landscape in which we are right now to get cash on the come and to get it as quickly as possible. And so what's important to understand is that we got 3 checks that are live now. 3 checks. They're all big checks, folks. These are big checks. I mean, the first stimulus check was $1,200. The second one was $600. The third one was $1,400. These 3 checks are huge. They're a lot more than them. $6,500 check, $15,000 to $80,000 check, $24,000 checks plus. All available to anyone who makes the effort to get it by becoming a member, open the newsletter, and getting those checks. The mindset is so important where we are right now, more so than ever before. Why? Here's an example. Someone says, when are they doing the other checks? You don't want these checks? Why you don't want these checks? You don't want $8,500? You $6,500? You don't want $15,000, $8,000? When are the other checks? Now that's fine if you've got these, all 3 of them, which I don't think you have yet because they're new to this channel. But once you've gotten all 3 and you want to get more, that's fine. But if you see these checks, say, I don't want those checks. I want other checks. Guess what? That is a recipe, not for Brussels sprouts, but a recipe for disaster. In an environment in which inflation is going out of control, an environment in which recession is coming around the corner, an environment in which consumer savings is going down and consumer confidence is getting worse, and a lot of economic metrics are miss every single day on this channel, you want to get every single darn check that I have for you. You want to get every single check that's available. You don't want to say, when is the other check? It's not the time or place for that anymore. It's not the time and place for that. If we look back now on the 2-year anniversary of this channel approaching age 25th this month, there may have been a time in 2020 where you had in the wallet or you had in the bank some unemployment checks, PUA, UI. You had some EIDL checks in the bank or EIDL loans. Or maybe you had some big payouts for something else. And then you said, I'll wait for the other checks. Right now, we don't have a lot of fluid things floating around. And that is the dedication that I give to get you those monies. And so I hope you give yourself the same dedication to get those checks. Because the first one, not covered anywhere except here. The second one, not covered anywhere else except here. And the third one, I don't even think people even know about it except here. That is how things happen. When checks become live, I get them right for you in the membership newsletter. The 331 check, it featured in the membership newsletter that day, and the April and the early March check went into the membership newsletter that day. You want to get every single check as soon as it becomes law. You don't want to sit back and say, when are they doing the other checks? Number 2, I love the changed focus of the viewers in the last 2 weeks. Membership numbers are out of control. Viewership numbers are way up. But along the way, people sometimes are so anxious, they get overly anxious and don't take time to really take notes. There's a lot in a video. Their videos are 1 hour in length. I got it. And what's important to understand is that when I say get your pen and paper ready, that means that's a part of the video where I'm going to show you how to get the check. If I have a graphic coming up and I say something like this, get your pen and paper ready, we're going to go over A, B, and C. Okay, now I'm going to go over A. Let me explain to you how A works. Okay, now we're going to go over B. Let me explain how B works. Let me go over, you got the point. That is where you're taking really good notes. Along the ways, some viewers sometimes have a laugh and other people sometimes pull out their hair because they'll hear a video which is 45 minutes in length and you'll hear the opening remarks, the opening teaser, and they'll be like, I have 5,000 questions about what you just said in the first sentence. It's the opening remarks. It's sort of like you're going to see the Star Wars trilogy and you saw the opening 4 seconds and you immediately say, is Darth Vader Luke's father? Well, you got to watch the movie. No, I want to know in the first 5 seconds. So stay and watch the entire video because I will answer every check. As Bonnie hilariously in one comment she sent me the other day and as well. If they only listen to the whole video, they'll get the answers answered. Now, let's say you watch the whole video and you still get your answers answered, but you're a little bit confused still. I understand. Viewers, this is not beginners. This is not a beginner's channel. This is a channel where there are big checks. And when there's big checks, you have big information. When there's big information, you have to make good notes. I understand. It may be a lot at first. The good news is, one, you can always replay the video. So you can even replay it while it's playing. So let's say you're watching this video live and you're like, I want to replay that Brussels sprout video, that Brussels sprout recipe, because I'm Sandy. I love Brussels sprouts. I smile. I sing every time there's a Brussels sprout on camera. So you take the toggle into the video, pull it back, because you go right back to the Brussels sprout recipe. You can do that. So if you miss something about the $6,500 checking, grab that rewind button and play it back. Or you can go to the next video coming up after that, the video before that, because I'm going to cover the check again. And I'll explain it to you on how you get it. That is how you really, really want to digest it. Next, you don't want to sort of simplify it either. So when I say call and say rent assistance because of COVID, don't change the words. Don't say it's that MS thing. I don't know what it's called, but I want that thing. No, we're pretty specific about how you do certain things. Then finally, what's important to understand is that as we go forward, it's so important to remain laser focused. And while I don't focus on the other universe, the alter universe, it's important to understand that everything that we always said on this channel would happen has happened. When Joe Biden became president, the very first week, virtually every YouTube channel had to block certain words. Do you know what words had to be blocked? You're going to be the first time I've ever told this to you. The words that had to be blocked were, is Joe Biden the president, or Joe Biden is not the president? We all had to block those words because there were so many people that were in that universe that said maybe he's not the president. So we had to block those words. Then, when he became the president, some people said, oh, he's not going to send us any money. Well, we already got some money. This morning, there was someone jumped in the live chat, and there always will be someone that jumps in the live chat. The video starts to play. Actually, the video hasn't even played. They jump in the live chat. The video hasn't even played. There's a title, and they got 5,000 questions based upon the title. How about you watch the video? How about you watch the video before you have questions about the title? Because the title will be answered by the video. Did you ever think about the novelness of that? Yeah, the video's answers will be, the questions in the title and the video will be answered. For example, this title is about delivery dates of checks. So we already went over the delivery of the dates of the checks. If you're late to the video, which always seems to happen, do not walk into the theater of the Broadway show in the middle of the third act and say, can everyone stop and tell me what happened? I missed everything. You know what the conductor's going to do? He's going to stand up in the pit and look at you and say, who is this rude person just walked in the theater and said, stop everything and recap what I've missed. I'm late. I was stuck in the subway traffic. So these checks have landed. These checks have already landed. Then we already went over 4 stimulus checks. We already went over Build Back Better bill, not law, but those checks would potentially land just a few weeks thereafter. We went over 7 stimulus, student loan debt forgiveness. That would be in May, because Joe Biden's already told us. We went over 6 stimulus. That is a situation with Vladimir Putin. Those checks would heat up in April. We'll have more about that tonight on Evenings LA. So that's why if you see a title, don't just jump in the live chat and start asking 15 questions about the title before the video plays. Listen to the video. And when the video starts and there is a summary of what's to come up in the next 1 hour video, don't have 9,000 questions in the first 5 seconds, because that's what the video is. One of the things that always troubles me dramatically, and I gotta laugh about this one, because this one is like, excuse me? So the video's playing. It's a taped video. It's not live like this. It's a taped video. And the video's playing, and then suddenly someone's in the live chat and says, I have 9,000 questions for that person on the other side of the screen to answer for me. He's not there. He's taped. He's taped. He's not, and there's a video to explain things. So one thing I don't understand, maybe someone can explain it to me, is that when there's a video to explain things, people think that they need to have someone explain something other than what's in the video. Listen to the video. You don't need someone else. You'll see that person. They'll jump in the live chat and say, can someone explain to me something that's coming up in the video in 10 minutes from now? No, just listen to the video. It's coming up in 10 minutes from now. You don't need to ask the question because it's coming up in the video. The videos are supposed to be self-explanatory. Let me make it a simpler way. I'm sort of like the shoe store. There's nothing else in the back room. There's nothing else in the back room. I'm telling you everything I know. If there's something else, I'm not holding it back. So if you have a question about something else, I don't have that else. If you didn't understand what I just said, then replay it back to the spot that I said it. There's no other way to sort of say it. There you go. And my favorite last comment is someone who has an opinion. Does anyone think they're going to send out 4 stimulus checks to people on SSI? They have. What do you mean they have? Did they vote on it? No, they didn't have to vote. The president made executive law. Just watch the video. It's explained in the next few minutes. It just cracks me up. And I think viewers crack up as well. It's important to understand that if you're getting a monkey, you're not in good standing for this channel. If you don't know how to use a phone, don't know how to use a computer, and yet want to apply for grants that require you to use a phone and require you to use a computer, then I implore you to reach out to the neighbor's son to say, hey, I want to start to learn how to use my phone, use my computer. I need to figure out how to do it. This, unfortunately, is a financial news channel. It's not a computer programming channel. So I'm not here to teach people how to use a computer or their phone. And trust me, every single day there's someone who says, I don't understand how to use my computer. Great. I'm not Bill Gates. I'm not great. I'm not a computer teacher. But I try my best to explain where everything is delivered. Finally, when someone says things, usually there's a reason why they're saying it. So when I say Monday through Friday for that membership newsletter, people say, why did I not get it on Saturday? Because it's Monday through Friday. When I say 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, they say, okay, it is now 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Why have I not got it? Because it's 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It just cracks me up every single time. Become a member. Get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. That's the YouTube alerts. Remember, go to the front of this channel and hit that bell. Make sure the notifications are to all. There's a little bell that is the subscribe bell. Make sure notifications is set to all, not personalized. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you sign up for a membership, let's say at 8 o'clock tonight, West Coast time, you'll get the one tomorrow. You're too late for today's membership newsletter. It already went out. And there you go. Get those big checks. Tonight on Evenings LA, we have a lot coming up in prime time. These checks and more. But next up is the brand new 3 o'clock afternoons LA show. And this show will automatically take you into the 1 o'clock afternoon show. And with that, have a beautiful afternoon. Stay informed, stay focused. Don't run from the Brussels sprout. It's not a cabbage. Get that great Brussels sprouts. The holiday season, it is upon us. It's really savory. Some balsamic vinegar or oil. After you roast it, put some Parmesan cheese on top. Then the mangoes. Mango salad, mango smoothie. Eat it raw. I like it raw. Eat it with the husk. Don't take the husk off. Make sure it's firm when you buy it. It does not have to be red, but if it is, even better. Get that right price point by buying it at the markets that potentially have cheaper prices. There's inflation everywhere, but the inflation is different based upon where you're shopping. That is what we do here. We try to cash it not track it. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful afternoon, and stay with LALATE for more.